Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we try to make sense of the corporate mumbo jumbo. And today we are diving into Dana Incorporated's latest filing to see what exactly they have been up to lately. This is a pretty standard report called a Form 8. Think of it as a company telling the public about big, important events that have happened since their last big report. It's not a regular update like a quarterly report, but more like an "and then this happened" announcement. The main event here happened on the 7th of January of 2026. So, what's the big news? It looks like Dana Incorporated and its subsidiary Dana Financing Luxembourg were busy settling some cash tender offers. Essentially, they offered to buy back some of their own debt. You know, like when you pay off part of your mortgage early, they were looking to buy back specific notes, which are just fancy terms for different types of loans the company took out. We are talking about their 5.375% senior notes due 2027, their 5.625% senior notes due 2028, Dana Financing's 3.000% senior notes due 2029, their 4.250% senior notes due 2030, Dana Financing's 8.500% senior notes due 2031, and finally their 4.500% senior notes due 2032. Yes, that is a lot of numbers and different types of debt. These offers closed on the 5th of January, and it seems a good chunk of these notes were offered back to the company. For example, over 34% of the 2027 notes and more than 35% of the 2028 notes were tendered. Things got really interesting with the 2029 notes, where about 77% were offered back, and for the 2030 notes, a massive 87% was offered. The 2032 notes also saw a huge participation with nearly 94% offered back. Only the 2031 notes had a much lower participation with around 2%. This tells us that investors were eager to cash out of most of these specific debt agreements. So, on the 7th of January, they completed these purchases. They bought back a significant amount of these notes, some at their full face value, for instance. They bought back all the tendered 2027 and 2028 notes, essentially wiping them clean from their books. For some of the others, like the 2029 and 2030 notes, they had to use something called proration factors, basically because more notes were offered back than they intended to buy. They only bought a percentage of what was offered. Think of it like a pie where there are more slices requested than available, so everyone gets a smaller piece. Now, the really crucial part is how they paid for all this. They used money they got from selling off their off-highway business. This is a big strategic move. Selling a business unit and then using that cash to pay down debt is a common way for companies to strengthen their balance sheet. It signals a focus on simplifying operations and reducing financial obligations. But wait, there is more. The day after the tender offer settlement on the 8th of January, Dana also went ahead and redeemed all the remaining outstanding 2027 and 2028 notes. Redemption means they paid off the entire principal amount plus any interest owed. So, as of the filing date, there are no more 2027 or 2028 notes left. This is a pretty aggressive move to fully eliminate these specific debt obligations. And who signed off on this? Douglas H. Liedberg, Senior Vice President, Chief Legal and Human Resources Officer, and Corporate Secretary. A mouthful. Alright, but it means the top legal folks are on board with these financial maneuvers. So, what does this all mean for Dana Incorporated? They are actively managing their debt structure by selling off a business unit and aggressively buying back or redeeming debt. They are clearly trying to clean up their financial picture. This could mean a stronger financial footing, potentially leading to lower interest expenses and more flexibility for future investments or operations. However, selling off a business unit is also a significant strategic shift. We need to consider what this off-highway business represented for Dana. Was it a growth area, or was it perhaps a drag on profits? The success of this move really depends on the health of the remaining parts of the business and their future growth prospects. For investors, this deleveraging is generally a positive sign, indicating a commitment to financial health, but it also raises questions about the company's long-term strategy and growth drivers post-sale. It is a balancing act between solidifying the present by reducing debt and investing in a future that relies on the remaining business segments. Alright, that is our breakdown of Dana Incorporated's latest filing. What is your take on these debt management strategies and what they signal for the company's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description. Thanks for watching. See you next time.